Hello, I'm Natalie, and I am starting this channel because of another YouTuber. I believe her name is Joanna, maybe? I'll post her info below down in the description. But she inspired me to try YouTube again. I have another YouTube channel that's based on crafts, and it is okay. I'm finally, after years, over 1,000 subscribers, but I thought I'm going to give this a try with a brand new channel and see if I can move a little quicker in the YouTube process. She learned from someone else named Dante, I believe his name is, and I'll try to find his videos and link him as well. But he is saying that people, just regular old people, nothing special, just regular old people can make money on YouTube. So I want money, so why not try? So that's what I'm going to do. So again, my name is Natalie. I'm in my late 40s. I live in Texas, and I am employed full-time. So I do have a full-time job that I do. Usually I'm there from like 8:30 to 5. I live very close to work, and so I don't spend more than about a half an hour driving to and from. It's about 12 minutes there and back. So I have some time after work and, on the weekends to try and do YouTube and see. I am going to keep my other channel going because I do enjoy it. It's based on crafts, so I am going to keep that going. I don't want to stop that. I do spend all day Sunday and much of Monday night doing my crafts. But on this channel, I'm going to have a different focus. I'm going to see if anyone has any interest in finances. So I am very much an analytical numbers person. That's just who I am, and I'm okay with that. And so I am very proud of the fact that I have no bills. I don't owe anyone. What I pay in a month is my insurances, like car insurance, home insurance. I pay, obviously water. I pay electric. I don't allow gas in my house. What else do I have? That's it. I have no car payment. I have no home payment. I have no credit card payments, nothing. I was married for 20 years, and my husband and I went through a bankruptcy in 2010, it must have been. And that hit us both pretty hard. That was tough. And so when we came out of that bankruptcy, the counselor who worked with us afterward enlightened us to Dave Ramsey. And my husband wasn't real interested in it, but I was 100% all in. And so I started learning about Dave Ramsey, watching videos and learning as much as I could. It took a couple years, but we ended up moving here to Texas. And when we moved, so my husband and I were having a rough time after the bankruptcy, and we were going to separate. Well, we did separate, I guess. And so he bought a cash house in Michigan, which is where he was from, and I bought a cash house in Texas, which is where I was planning on moving to work, to train horses. And so we did that. So we owned then 2 houses. We were still married and just separated. Once he bought his home and I bought my home, we were separated probably a total of somewhere between 6 and 8 months. And we figured out pretty quickly within that 6 to 8 months that we couldn't live without each other. It was craziness. We missed each other. We had to call each other all the time. It was on and on and on we'd go. And so we gave up on that idea, and he let his mom take over the home he purchased in Michigan. And he came down here, and we lived in the home that I had purchased down here. We ended up, I bought that house cash because I actually cashed out of my 401k, as did he, to buy his house. And that's not something you should do. It's not a good plan. I wouldn't recommend doing that. But at the time, that was what I wanted. I did not want to have to pay another high mortgage bill. At the time, this was back in 2010. I think we bought our house in 2005, I think. In 2005, we bought a farm because I was a horse trainer. And so we bought a farm, and our payments were almost $1,700. And now in today's day, that seems like, chump change, I guess. But for us, it was a lot because we were into buying stuff. Like we bought a lot of stuff. We had all kinds of equipment and a bobcat and tractor and a spreader and cars and trucks and all the things. So we spent a lot of money. And so having a large home payment just didn't fit well, which is how we ended up racking up a whole bunch of credit card debt and ended up filing for bankruptcy because we drowned ourselves basically. So once we had moved and we were down here in Texas together, so we had been here already 8 months, we kind of made a deal with each other that we will not go back into debt. We are going to figure out how to live without debt. I had never financed a car before. I had never in my life financed a car before. I had only ever bought cash cars. And my husband happened to be basically a mechanic. He wasn't a licensed mechanic in any way, but he basically was a mechanic. So any car we bought, it didn't matter if it ran or not, he would fix it and it would be wonderful because he would have fixed it. So it would have been great. So I never had financed a car before, but when I moved down here to Texas, I fell in love with cars, kind of, and the Mercedes specifically, the Mercedes E-Class. Let me move up. The Mercedes E-Class. And so at the time, I had started selling cars, and so I was going to get a little bit of a deal on a car from the dealership I was working at. So I bought that, and I financed it. And I did have in my mind, it was probably, I don't know, 3 or 4 year term. I don't honestly remember. The payments were super low and that was fine. But I knew that I wanted to pay that car off within a year. And so that was the goal because we were agreeing to never get debt again. And so now I've gone against what we agreed to and financed this stupid car. Now I love the car. It was a fabulous car. Loved it. It was the best thing ever. It was fabulous. I loved it. It was super clean, low mileage. It was all black on black on black. It was beautiful. It was beautiful. It was comfortable. It was great. And I did end up, how did it work? I don't remember. I sold that car. I don't remember how or why. I believe I sold that car because we were going to move. We were going to buy a different house. And we wanted to continue on this debt-free road, so we didn't want to get another mortgage. So he had a trailer that he was going to sell, and I was going to sell my car, and we would just buy, another car. And so I sold this car. This was my favorite car ever in life, keep in mind. And at this time, I was how old must I have been? 30-something years old? I don't remember. 35, 38, I don't know. I don't remember. But I sold my car. And so from that point on, I decided I will never do that again. I will never finance another car. It's the stupidest investment you could ever make because it's not an investment. You're paying for something month after month after month, and the value of that something is going down further and further and further, regardless how nice your car is, no matter if you bought it new or 100 years old. It's going down every month that you have it. So I realized that, I know that, and it was a bad choice. And so I decided that was the last time I would ever finance a car. And to this date, that is the last time, first and last time I've ever financed a car. So my late husband, so I should go back a step though. My husband and I were married for 20 years. He passed away in 2021 due to a fire, a house that we had purchased, another cash house, a house we had purchased had some sort of gas leak of some sort, and it caught on fire, and he passed away due to that fire. So when I speak of him, he's still present to me, but he's not with us anymore. He is off in heaven and looking down and approving all the cash purchases I'm making, I guess. I don't know. So just keep that in mind. He's no longer with me. That was a few years ago now, and he's still with me. Of course, in my heart, I still love him to death. He's still my first love and all of that. I still love him deeply and will always love him deeply. There will always be a spot for him in my heart. So keep that in mind. But anyway, so on our debt-free journey, we sold the original house that I purchased. We bought another house, and that one we picked up a small mortgage, but we were paying the owner because the mortgage companies only will finance you if you take so much money out. And we weren't willing to take that much money out because we only needed a little bit. And so we financed it through the owner. And then when we paid her off, we decided it was time to get a bigger house. And so then we were going to move far away. It was quite far away. It was going to change my job and everything. So it was a distance. And so that's the house that we purchased. And the day that we were moving in, that's the day it burnt to the ground. And my husband ended up passing a few days later. And when that happened, the home we purchased was a good home. It was old, but it was something we were able to purchase 3/4 of the way with cash and just a very small mortgage. And so when the insurance had to pay for that fire, they paid the full value of the house, not just what we mortgaged, of course. And so the portion that I had left over from when I had to pay off that mortgage, I had $50,000 left on the mortgage, so I had to pay that off. But the rest of the money that was from that burned house, I was able to buy the house that I live in now, which is a fabulous house. My sister is a real estate agent. She was able to find this house for me, and I love it, and it's fabulous, and it's got enough space for me. It has an awesome yard. It's a 1/2 acre, so it's enough for my dog. I have a cat as well, but he doesn't go outside. He's inside. He gets a little afraid when we go outside. Sometimes he'll come out on the porch in the back, but he doesn't want to stay. But anyway, so my dog loves outside. Everything's great. And so this house, I was able to buy cash, and I was only able to buy cash because of how we had purchased in the past. Now, my sister and everyone else tried to get me into a mortgage when I bought this house. They said, oh, well, mortgage interest rates are so low, you could, invest the money and make more and blah, 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 blah. I didn't want payments. I want to be able to live, even if I had to work part-time jobs at Dollar Tree, okay? I want to be able to live comfortably. And so I did not want a mortgage. And so I did what I needed to do so that I don't have to have a mortgage or any other big bills like that. And so I'm very happy I did that, because now all of the money, all the $1,000 or $1,500 or $2,000, people are paying $4,000 a month. I don't make that much money, so I can't do any of that. But all of that money that I would have been paying on a mortgage, I can now put into my investment account and help to build my retirement fund. So that's what I've been doing. I've been putting every dollar that I would have put on a mortgage, I put into an IRA, and then I have a separate account as well, a separate investment account as well. I put all that money there so that that money is just in the background growing, instead of me paying a mortgage every month, losing that money. And of course, my house, because it's paid off, it is still increasing in value, because all houses for the most part do. And so while it increases in value, I'm making money, really. Because if I were to sell it today, I will sell it for more than I purchased it for when I purchased it back in 2021. So that's a lot of information. This was supposed to be a quick introduction, and it's not. So I apologize for that. But the main point of my whole long story here was, if you focus and you want to be debt-free, no matter where you're at, you can do it. You just have to come up with a plan. You have to know how to get that goal accomplished, and you have to actually do it. When we had first moved down here and I financed that car, I had the idea in my head that I wanted to be debt-free, but I didn't believe it, and I didn't think I could do it, and I didn't really care if I did it. And then I realized, this is stupid. Why am I spending hundreds of dollars a month for this car when I could just own it and not spend hundreds of dollars? Now, of course, when you buy a car, it's obviously a large amount of money. But if you save every single month, you can save that money. You do not have to put it into a car payment. Save it all up front, pay cash, and never make a car payment. That's what I've done with the car that I'm in now. I saved up that money. We had a couple cars when he passed, so I sold all but 2 of them. I have an old car, an '03 Mercedes CLK, what the heck is it? CLK 550. And then my new car is a 21 Mercedes E350. Cash cars. These are cash cars. I will never have another car payment. I will never do it. I will scrimp and save and eat tuna if I have to, but I will not have another car payment. I can promise you that. My car that I'm in now, the 21, I can drive it for 10 years. Now, my late husband spoiled me, and he used to get us new cars every 2 years, every 3 years. We would be getting new cars. Not new as in, brand new from the lot, but new as in different cars. He'd go find us the best deals we could get and could afford cash, and we'd switch them out at minimal every 2 years, sometimes more often than that, but at least every 2 years. So I'm used to that. So that's kind of what I want now as well. So that's what I'm working towards. So one of my things I'm going to talk about on my videos is how I'm going to do that, is how I'm going to get my next car in a couple of years here. 2 years is about my max, 3 maybe. The car that I'm in now, I don't like the color, so I am ready to get out of it already, and I just purchased it in April. I don't like the color, and that's so superficial and so nonsensical. But I want what I want, and so I'm going to get what I want, and that sounds real bad, but that's how I feel. That's the only way to push me through to get the savings that I need to get another car. So anyway, I don't know if I have confused everyone and made a big mess, but the idea in this channel here is to talk about some finances just a bit, kind of a daily routine of what's going on in my life, what I'm thinking about in terms of money, how I'm going to save $1,000 a month to buy my next car in a couple years, and how almost anyone can do this. You just have to have the will, the gut, the drive. You just have to have that. So that's it for me, I guess. Thank you so much for stopping by. Have a great one.